everyone, I'm Ayşe Gülistan, and this is Invest in Turkiye Talks. So what are we going to do throughout these series? We'll be talking everything related to investment, from FDI inflows to entrepreneurship, the investment infrastructure in Turkey, and trends and challenges that sectors may face in the near future. Today, I'm joined in the studio with Nezih Sipahioğlu, CEO of Sipay. Nezih, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Now, Nezih, we have a lot to go through today, and obviously there's been, you've recently just finished your Series B round with an immense amount of funding that you raised. So we've got a lot to go through, but let's start with the first question. You were the founder and CEO of Global Trust from 2014 to 2020, and then Sipay was born in April 2019. Can you tell us about this transition from an international consultancy firm to Fintech?
Yeah, I was studied in London. When I came back to Turkey in 2013, I founded my first startup, Global Trust. So the reason was I was helping Turkish people to make global businesses. So I was setting up a company for them in the UK first. But then we added Dubai, Netherlands, Malta, Estonia, and US. So in these 6 countries, I was helping Turkish entrepreneurs to set up a company and to do business. Then I had a chance to work a lot of banks and fintechs all over the world. And during that time, I have realized that banking is really good in Turkey digitally. So I decided to came up an idea with Sipay, which is a first financial marketplace in the region. So when you have a lot of good options, sometimes it's difficult to choose one as well. So in our platform, we have everything. And I have an experience from my existing business, what SMEs and individuals needs financially. So that was the reason and experience to set up the Sipay after my first company.
Brilliant. And in just a couple of years, as we mentioned, Sipay has become Turkey's fastest growing fintech and has raised $78 million in its Series B round, achieving a valuation in excess of $875 million. Now, these figures are astounding. You've been around for 5 years now, so not a long time. So what do you think you owe this rapid growth to?
Yes, thank you. First of all, 5 years is a long time as a Sipay. So what we did was we have an all-in-one solution for consumers, for businesses, and for big enterprises and other fintechs and banks too. So it was a all-in-one shop for SMEs, all-in-one financial app for the individuals. So it was the whole value proposition. We are not sorting out of one single problem. We are sorting out of all problems of individuals and SMEs. So that's why we have a rapid growth, because we have a chance to make a cross sale to our existing customers. So we don't have any one single product, we have a bunch of products. And what we are trying to do is we want to be the one single contact of consumers and SMEs for their financial helps. So that's why this rapid growth has been succeed. And the second thing, of course, because of our tech and team. So these 2 T's are very important for us. We have the great tech and we have the great team who supported me on this way in 5 years to reach to $875 million valuation.
Now, I'm going to come to the team, but before we do, can you tell us about the product that the services that you provide as Sipay? Because we are a growing fintech market in Turkey and there can be similarities, but what is it that differentiates you?
Yeah, the differentiate is we, as a financial marketplace, most of the products belongs to us, but we also provide other financial institutions products in our platform as well. So instead of going to 9 different banks or 2-3 different fintechs, if they can come to Sipay, we have all-in-one solution. So as an example, we have 3 different segmentation. The first one is for SMEs. It's a Sipay business. And we have acquiring services for both online and offline at the same place. We have open banking services which SMEs can connect and manage all of their bank accounts through our platform. We have money remittance services locally and globally. We have utility bill services. We have e-issuing services. So we have these bunch of services in the same place. So time is very important for SMEs. They need to focus on their sales to increase their sales. So we are helping them to sort it out their financial problems so they can focus on the sales. Our second segmentation is Sipay Personal. So we do the similar things for individuals, which they can connect all of their bank accounts and manage from the single platform. They can do their money remittance locally and globally, and they can spend with our cards, and they are able to pay all of their utility bills. We also have loyalty programs. They are also able to apply for loans. So the good thing is with a one app, they can have all of these financial tools. So in a third and last segmentation, we have these services for fintechs and banks too. We love to call it Sipay as a service. So it's a SaaS service which we provide for other fintechs and banks too.
Okay, brilliant. So for somebody that's stuck in conventional banking like myself, when I listen to stuff like this, it's really fascinating because obviously these are products that I'm assuming you still have a long way though to be able to reach to the general public, because we are still very used to the kind of conventional banking system that we have and the new technologies that come with, the products that you provide. How do you address this gap in knowledge? How can you explain these services that you provide to the general public?
Sure. First of all, we are not telling people to stop working with the traditional banks and convert to us. So what we are saying is you can manage all of these through our platform and we can bring you the best deals. Because in traditional banking, if you need to go to the branch to ask something, it's a huge time gap. So what we do is we already know who you are and we know what's your needs. And whenever you need something, we are gonna bring it to you and tell, okay, this is the best loan, or this is the best credit card, or this is the easiest way to send money, and you pick. So the whole difference how we approach the market is we are not telling people to stop working with the banks. Instead of that, we are telling them work with all financial parties through our platform, which saves you time and money.
Right, fantastic. And as we mentioned, the Series B round, congratulations on that. You had investment from really notable VCs, including Elephant VC, Revolut, and Quantum Light. And these names, having these names trust you says something about the company and also something about your leadership as well. So what kind of strategic priorities would this round now, where will we see Sipay move forward with this round?
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, we're gonna add new products our users and SMEs are going to enjoy with the other new products. Secondly, we wanna expand our business to outside of Turkey as well. In other emerging markets, we see huge potential. So with the new funds coming, we will be having the similar services in other parts of the world. So we pick MENA region first. In the MENA region, we will be helping people and businesses to have better financial tools. And also, we are helping Turkish businesses who would like to do business outside of Turkey. So when they go out, they don't need to look for any new partners. Still with Sipay, our investors are mostly from the developed countries. So when they see that we have achieved this success in Turkey, they believed us that we are able to achieve the similar services in other emerging markets too. But of course, every market has different local needs. So that's why now we are exploring the other parts of the world. And after we finalize our market analysis, we will be having our first transactions at the end of this year.
Now, Nezih, you talk about scaling globally, but would you be able to share which markets at the moment, which markets are you looking at?
Of course, first of all, our final destination is being public. So as a startup who wants to be being public, we are very transparent about our business plans as well. The first 3 places that we are looking to expand is we would like to serve all Africa through South Africa, and we are going to serve CIS countries through Azerbaijan, and we're going to serve GCC countries through United Arab Emirates, Dubai. So these are the first 3 targets. But at the end of the day, we would like to serve all these regions. And as a global brands, we would like to be their first choice when they come to Turkey. And when any Turkish business go outside, we also would like to be their first choice as well.
So in fact, you're going to play a role there where you make it easier for Turkish people to do business abroad, but also make it easier for international investors to do business in Turkey.
Correct. In my first business, I was helping these Turkish businesses in corporate services to expand their business outside. And now, on the other hand, I am helping them with my financial services to scale their businesses outside.
Brilliant. Obviously, you're somebody that has managed the success in the Turkish market. And obviously, there are a few other big fintech companies that we talk about who are major players in the market. But what are the strengths of the Turkish market, and what gaps do you think that we still have to be filled?
First of all, Turkey market is very big. Like our GDP is more than $1.2 trillion and the card payments volume is more than $400 billion. So market penetration is really good. On the other hand, digital penetration is good. the population is young, and we have more than 80 million population. So what we are trying to do is there are a lot of good other fintechs too, but they mostly focus on the one single product to sort it out, one single problem. So we cover all of them. So this is a good thing that we have a huge market and we can cover at least 90% of it. But there are still some points which needs to be improved as well. So as an example, the integration with the other big major payment companies, which is not in Turkey. So this is what we already started, by the way. So we are integrating with these big players to be able to serve their Turkish merchants, and for Turkish merchants to be able to get services in the other regions as well.
And we spoke about, conventional banking and new technology that has led to applications such as yourselves. And I remember when blockchain was first announced, we were all worried that the, central banking system was going to collapse, and everyone was a bit scared when it first appeared on the agenda. But now it's part of our lives, part of our daily lives, and this is something that you use in order to be able to provide your services. How do these technologies currently play in your roadmap, and how do you see them shaping the future of digital payments?
First of all, as a licensed entity, when new technology comes, we are not directly using it. First, we need to see the market penetration and we need to see the effects of it. As an AI, what we are using now is to make our operations more efficient. We are using AI tools. In a second place, we will be helping our consumer and SMEs to use these tools to get an advice financially. But as a licensed entities, we need to be careful. So that's why when we see new tech, we are not directly jumping on it. First, we are testing, we are using, and in the last stage, we're going to serve through them. Blockchain is something very different. Of course, it's already in our lives, but we are still trying to improve our data mining with blockchain so we can have more efficient and more transparent transactions to our users. So these two things we already started to use internally, but probably next year we will be using these tools to serve our clients and SMEs as well.
So we still have a little bit of way to make with using these technologies correctly.
Yes. In my personal life, I am using it more. But as a Sipay, we need to be more careful before we launch these services to our consumers and businesses.
And obviously throughout the conversation, you mentioned the two T's, tech and team, right? So within your team, you've got around 300 employees. As a founder, obviously you're a leader, and to have for a startup to be successful, you need your team to believe in that mission because it's something new, and if they don't believe in it, they're not necessarily going to put as much as work as you would want them to. So how did you approach leadership in terms of the company culture, especially in a fast growing pace where people don't really stick around for too long? They're moving around in jobs really easily. So what was it that put this team together, and how did you establish that team spirit?
Good question. First of all, the team also should believe the vision of the company. So if they don't believe, it's very difficult to convince them work harder or work happily. So what we did differently is in our Sipay culture, we are trying to convince everyone to the way which we are going and how we are going. If we are not able to convince our teammates, so it will be very difficult for me to manage them. So first, our vision, we are aligned with all of our employees. The second, the way how we want to manage it. So of course, it's not possible to manage all of these team by myself. We have a great management team. In a startup world, when you are 6 or 10 people, it's much more easier. But when you are 300 people, you need much more management team who convince the team which they connect to. So what we did differently is we are very transparent. Whatever we are doing or whenever we are doing, we are letting every teammate to know about it. So everyone knows what we are doing and where we are going. So that's why it is easier from my side to get their support when we are transparent.
Because they trust the leadership.
And also when they see that we are on the good way. So this is also helping me to manage very well.
Brilliant. Now, Nezih, in addition to Sipay, you're also the founder of Hessup.com. Can you tell us about this initiative, where the idea came from and what it does?
Basically, it's a spin-off from Sipay, and it's also under the Sipay global umbrella. So what Hessup.com is, it's an aggregator. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are not telling people to stop working with the banks and work with us. So in Hessup.com, we are showing people that what's the best loan, what's the best mortgage, what's the best credit card, or what's the best deposit account they need. So now it's an aggregator platform for individuals, but in a second phase, through open banking, we are also going to help them to manage whatever they need from Hessup.com. So we just launched the website like a month ago, and we have a great traffic. More than 500,000 people visits website every month. So once we show the proof of concept, we're gonna improve the products. We will add the new features. We are expecting Hessup.com to lead the aggregator market in 2 years. So having an experience from Sipay and having the power of Sipay will help Hessup to achieve this point quickly.
So that's another initiative that we should be following you on then, to see the success of that in a couple of years.
Yes, hopefully.
Fantastic. Now, Nezih, to finish off, we always kind of depend on who we're talking to in the studio. We want to ask them for their advice that they would give to, in your case, young entrepreneurs in Turkey who have this idea and, you know, want to be able to find investors or go out public. So what advice would you give to those young entrepreneurs, the fintech company founders that are still very early in their stage?
Yes, two things are very important. The first thing is doing a good market research. Sometimes when you find the idea and you think that nobody did, there might be a good reason why nobody did it. So making a good market research is very important. The second thing is we don't have to invent something from scratch. Now time is very important. We are not scientists. So instead of finding something from scratch, sometimes making life easier or simpler for the people also changes the world as well. Of course, some people think that when you are the boss of your own job, the life gets easier, but it's the opposite. When you are responsible for everyone, you need to know that it's very difficult because you have liabilities of all these people on your shoulders. So two things to summarize. First, market research is very important before start. People shouldn't directly jump and start. First, they need to analyze the market to make a good decision. Second thing is they shouldn't think that it's a comfortable thing to do. It's of course much more difficult, but at the end of the day, if someone wants to follow their dreams, of course, we need to support.
Brilliant. Thank you, Nezih, and thank you for joining us in the studio today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
In today's episode with Nezih Sipahioğlu, CEO and founder of Sipay, we speak about the recent $78 million they raised in their Series B round and Sipay's strategy to go global. Nezih is one of the many successful fintech company founders we have, and he comments on Turkey's strengths in the fintech market and the gaps that need to be addressed. You can find our podcast on all streaming platforms, and for more updates and information, follow Invest in Turkey on social media. Stay tuned for more episodes where we'll be talking more about investment in Turkey.